Hi everyone, thanks for coming out. Terrific atmosphere. It's really fun that college basketball season has started. You know, we're pretty much hoops junkies up here, and so you start following scores, and just to be a part of it never gets old for me. I feel really fortunate to be the coach here and to coach these young women. I think it was a good win for us. St. Mary's is a really good team. I know it's a big thing for them to try to make the tournament this year. I'm sure there are not 64 teams better. They're really good. The WCC is a great conference, and they'll contend. I thought that we did a lot of really good things. The thing I'm most proud of is the way we kind of took a punch in that third quarter and stayed composed and stayed together. Would have rather, extended the lead and gone up by 20, but that didn't happen. Gave up too many points that quarter, but we responded to that really well. Love the balance that we have, 6, almost 7 in double figures. I thought Christine had a pretty ridiculously good performance given the fact that she was out for 5 weeks and has been practicing for a week. We'll never put her in harm's way, but she actually hasn't been able to necessarily practice as much, and she's only going to continue to get better. And Kiana was absolutely huge down the stretch for a freshman point guard. To have that kind of pressure and come through was really big for us.
You showed a lot of faith there in a freshman point guard. Did you have a sense that this moment wouldn't be too big for her?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's many good things you can say about Kiana, but her poise might be at the top of the list. She's really heady, really smart. She made a read off of a play we call Eagle. That's actually for Christine, and we haven't had a guard do that in a while who can just make the read and say, okay, I can make the play. She was good with the free throws down the stretch. I like the fact that wasn't necessarily in there for 40 minutes, but on the time when it was to be counted on, it was like she'd done it 1,000 times before.
Kiana, you really settled in the second half. Can you talk about just kind of what changed for you in the second half that allowed you to settle in more?
I think since this was my first college game, in the beginning I had a little nerves, but once I realized it's all just basketball, I started to relax.
Coach talked about how you guys pulled it together, you were got behind in the third quarter. Can you talk a little bit about the leadership of the team over the years, like maybe you wouldn't have been able to do that in the past 2 seasons?
For sure, I feel like we have 2 really good leaders, and we're just following them and just really taking in, just being good followers. And now, now more than ever, it's been really good. The chemistry off the court, on the court, off the court, and on the court is just tremendous. And I'm just I give credit to our leaders on the court, and I give credit to our leaders off the court. So we're just really doing good, and just trying to finish off strong. We're waiting. I don't know what I'm saying, honestly.
Christine, can you talk about your game? You started off with foul trouble. This will be easier. You started off with foul trouble, and then you got hit in the head or something? Something was
in the head?
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they did a really good job trying to get me out of the key, and the foul trouble, I was just frustrated, but I bounced back, and I just did what I had to do for my team.
Is it kind of a feel thing for you with foul trouble, or do you kind of have rules?
Me?
Yeah.
A feel. Oh, yeah. It's definitely a feel thing. Early in my career, which is weird now to think about, there's a career, it's been a while. Early in my career, it kind of was more the 2 fouls and you're done for the half. But I've evolved, and I think you got to know your players, right? And so, Christine and I have had multiple conversations in games over the years of, hey, I need you to be able to play with 2. She's gotten actually quite good at that, or even starting the second half with 3 and still play defense and still be a factor. So it's a feel thing with, and it also comes in practice. Okay, now act like you've picked up a foul, and be able to play that way. So yes, I've developed that, and I have a feel for kind of who can do that and who might struggle with that.
Yeah, I think especially playing in Australia when we went on our foreign tour, that helped a lot of just building chemistry with my teammates and everything. So I think that helped for my nerves or anxiousness coming into the season now.
Lindsay, around the fouls, but maybe there's also the question for the benefit of having much more depth to go to. You played West. At the end of the game, she didn't play much for quite a while.
Yeah, we're way deeper than we've been. I feel like I have different combinations, both at the guard spots and the post. So, for example, you know, when Christine's out, I think she made a comment back at Pac-12 Media Day, it's not, you know, only Christine anymore. We don't have to, the pressure isn't on her to be the only scorer, right? There's multiple scorers, which is good for her and it's good for us. But also we have different combinations. You know, Bird is really good and effective and a smaller post. We can play CJ and Christine together. I think Nina had a really solid all-around game, so there's combinations there. Similarly at the guard spot, you know, to be able to move AT off the ball sometimes and let Kiana run the point. You know, Mike Cole's been playing well. To go bigger with Kayla and Jalen, I thought Jalen's minutes were huge and they weren't a ton, but yes, we're deeper, so it allows for more combinations and also to weather some foul trouble a little bit.
Is it way too early to know any status on Mike Cole?
Yeah.
She seemed fine though.
Yeah, her spirits are good. Yeah, her spirits are good. Yeah. They were. You said.
Yeah, St. Mary's made a run towards the end of the third quarter. You guys are all knotted up going into the fourth. Just what do you think enabled you guys to kind of push through that and pull away with this game in the end?
I mean, my message to them was forget that third quarter. Forget it. Because it just had a little bit, I mean, they beat us in the third quarter, it had a little bit of a kind of blah or negative feel, and I don't know that I would have been able to say that last year, right? Like I would have maybe had to talk about the mistakes, but this team is a little more mature, and I could say it's over, win the next quarter, you know, which we did. So it's them, it's our players, it's in their control. We got a lot of stops. I mean, they scored 30 points in the third quarter, which is ridiculous, but then we gave up 14 points, which was our best defensive quarter. So I think it was on them just saying, okay, we can do this, and I think hopefully that's the lesson going forward. You want to learn lessons in wins, not losses, and I think this is a team that's capable of doing that.
Time for one or two more questions.
I know you joked about wishing you would have run away by 20 points, but how much do you think a game like this helps before you make a big trip here?
I think everything is a good, you know, learning experience. Like I said, I think St. Mary's is good. Like in some ways, you know, we are tested. They're not going to go anywhere. But basketball is basketball, right? So the things where they got us, scoring in transition or offensive boards, obviously, you know, UConn is going to have that, you know, exacerbated on film. So these are the lessons we're going to learn, and then the next game at Brown as well. So yes, I mean, of course you always want to be 20 points better than the opponent, but I do think the lessons are important, and I told them that in there. Like I was really proud of the way we handled that fourth quarter, and moments other times throughout the game. We just had one bad quarter.
In previous years, you had to rely on first years because, you know, lack of depth, Christine and T coming in, but now you have these two first years that you just put in there today. Do you feel more comfortable doing that because you saw that they could perform and given a chance because of previous years?
I think everyone's college career kind of has a little bit of a different trajectory, right? I think, you know, Christine and I have talked about this, like she's had these experience to be double and triple teamed since her freshman year, and that has made her, you know, a better player. Whereas Kiana and Bird have the luxury of coming in with really good veteran leadership, Christine and Kayla and AT, and so it's just different. So yes, I love having freshmen that are really good. I think we've had that for several years in a row now, but to also have the balance where they can learn from some people, it's going to make them better, and it's going to make our team better because we have just more weapons and options.